So, since we've started with 20, do you want to pick a number between 1 and 20, or will I roll a dice for you?
4. Lucky
4.
number.
That is Polytoad crossed with a froghemoth. So, what a bouncy water spewing thing with curl on its head.
Okay, I'm just gonna Google it.
Fused with a big frog-based abomination.
This would be cool.
So
Oh, I just noticed a scale.
Yep. Vaguely frog-shaped.
It's got frog energy.
Yeah, I suppose.
I should probably put in a picture of Polytoad as well. Oh, it's these ones.
Yep.
I think I get him and Poliwrath mixed up.
Yeah, Poliwrath blue and angry.
Yeah, I can see these two going together quite easily.
There's some of them where it's kind of you get it, and there's an immediate I know how I'll put these together, and then some of them it's kind of like there's a lot of room for this one. So yeah, I'm interested to see how you do this.
See, now I'm wondering whether I should like try and draw over it. No, I should actually be an artist. I'm just trying to think because I think Polytoad is like. If I look at the Pokédex entries, maybe there'll be some. Wow, I spelt that so wrong. I spelt it Toik Lord.
There we can get up the.
I'm just scrolling all the way down Bulbapedia, which probably isn't a good shout because Bulbapedia
Okay,
can be a bit intense.
okay, I've got its Pokédex entries up.
But if you want to read them out while I start drawing.
Yeah, we've got various examples like if Poliwag and Poliwhirl hear its echoing cry, they respond by gathering from far and wide. The curled hair on Politoad's head is proof of its status as a king. It is said that the longer and more curled the hair, the more respect this Pokemon earns from its peers. There's a lot of them that is just these slightly ominous sounding. It gathers groups of others as their leader. Its cries make Poliwag obey. That's just mildly ominous sounding.
I love Pokédex entries that just sort of get gradually.
Like
I think it was Black and White that it would be like the white entries would be something like this Pokemon likes to eat berries and spend time with its friends. And the black entry would just be like this Pokemon was once arrested for murder on 10 counts. It should not be allowed out in the wild.
Yeah, it's like the amount of them where it's like one game just like, oh yeah, they're perfectly pleasant. And, like you should leave them around your kids. Only, and then the other one's just like, only if you watch your children dead.
I love the idea of like you open up a game and just the Pokédex entry is just only if you want your children dead.
Sorry, just like although its cries sound like screams, the composer created a beautiful ballad that was influenced by the Souths.
Is that for
Like,
Polytoad?
yep, that's a Polytoad.
I love
Although
that.
cries sound like screams, like you wouldn't get that looking at it.
I don't know. They've got scream energy.
Yeah, but it's that kind of like this kind of I'd almost say like internal screaming energy.
I mean, we all have internal screaming energy these
Yeah, yeah,
days.
that's fair. Um,
Tentacle arms. Oh, I should probably have
and
that up.
Sun and Moon is like their cries sound angry and not at all pleasant, but they are certainly distinctive. And it's like it's the leader of Poliwag and Poliwhirl. When Politoed roars, they all cower in fear. I like had in my mind that this was like quite a laid back Pokemon, but it's just as bad as Poliwrath. Like it sounds like
You go to
just as, if not
Poliwrath's,
angrier.
go to Poliwrath's Pokedex entries, and it's like this Pokemon looks like it's always ready to start a fight, but in reality, it's actually just pretty chill. It just cowers in fear of its cousin, the Politoed.
Um, yeah, every single one of Poliwrath's Pokedex entries, bar one, are just about the fact that it's a fantastic swimmer. That is literally it. The only one that isn't is just that it can turn boulders to dust by punching them. Like everything else is just, oh yeah, it's a great swimmer. Whereas,
Most Pokedex entries can be either be categorized as A, they're all just like the same thing with slight variations. B, it's just completely nonsense. Like like it was written by a 10-year-old. Can you imagine?
yeah. And then eventually you just get into, you know,
And then there's somewhere it's just like in-depth lore in every single entry.
yeah, and most often terrifying. Then the fact that if you like take the time to look at the Pokedex entries for like mega evolutions, basically
Oh,
every single one of them is, yeah, this mega evolution puts the Pokemon in constant pain.
yeah, I actually really love that.
It's it's like, why? Why is this the case for like every single one of these? They don't say you could take this in a fight.
I hmm, I was gonna say something, but now it's been a while since I've actually read them. I think I remember it's like Lucario, like it forgets that it's its friend, and like you're the only thing that can break it out of its rage-induced. But I think like the idea is because you're such good friends, they're willing to go for it for you. But I think it's a really cool bit of lore that they kind of put in. But it's I think the only bit they put it in was on the Pokemon Bank Pokedex
Mm.
entries,
Yeah.
and then you actually no, because Pokemon Bank only added in. No, it must have been Sun and Moon then. But you only had the Mega Evolutions that appeared in Sun and Moon, which is a shame because I wanted to know more. Okay, I'm just gonna do this because it's not been able to believe my mind since I thought of it.
Is this a is this a really buff Diglett again?
Well, you said they were good swimmers, so
Oh, boy.
okay, I'm gonna zoom in just so that if somebody comes into the stream, all they see is this.
No, Mega Lucario is one of the few that doesn't immediately gets struck down by immense pain. It just becomes utterly merciless.
Yeah, I think
Severe.
they're all like slightly different, but they're all like around the same idea of just losing control.
Is so good at stuff. I mean, um, I think the only one that doesn't. I was going to say the only one that isn't like pain based is Mega Kangaskhan, but that's just because the kid helps. But then you look at it, it's like its mother feels uneasy about its future. The mother is beside herself with worry about it.
Yeah.
When the mother sees the back of her mega evolved child, it makes her think of the day when her child will inevitably leave her. Like
Mega evolutions are just existential dread.
they really are. It's like
I'm trying to work out what on earth is going on in this guy's tongue. It looks like a plant.
I think it's just meant to be kind of like on squid tentacles, the kind of
Oh,
bit at the
maybe.
end, like grabbing stuff.
Now, how shall I incorporate the squiggle on its belly?
Well, it could just be a squiggle, but there's other options. I'm not sure what they are currently, but there's always other options. Could be another hidden tendril.
Oh, I mean, when you consider where that squiggle's coming from.
I did not say that. I mean, we have just had Ditto say do the spiral nips again.
The thing is, I was thinking that, and I do think it would be kind of
On brand for
because,
Polygon.
like, it's kind of got nip energy. No.
Yeah. Well, this is looking good. I like it.
Yeah, I might just add a flicker color. Just so that I can remember where everything is. So if I take a color from him and a color from him, and I just sort of nope, that's not working. You can draw this good someday. You just need to practice, which is
Don't worry, Ditto. I'll be drawing next, and in that comparison, you're already better. So
I should say that like I've been drawing for years, and this is the sort of stuff that I like specialize in drawing. Because this is effectively still character design. But if you ask me to draw something outside of my like skill set, aka something even vaguely realistic looking,
I've been told that I'm going to get beaten up for friend slander.
I think a very important thing to remember is that when you're looking at your artwork, also this was supposed to be a quick color. Why am I coloring it improperly? Oh well. I guess I'm coloring it improperly then. But when you're most critical of your work and you feel like you're not, improving, that's actually when you're improving the most because you're sort of seeing where you need to improve and actively trying to improve. Whereas I feel like I'm in quite a comfortable position. I might not be improving as fast as I thought I could because I'm not, trying as many different things.
Yeah. No, it's
But frustratingly, though, at the end of the day, the only thing you can really do to get better is to practice. And practicing sucks. So I never do it anymore. Does progress scare you, or does the lack of, you know, the fear that you're not improving scare you? I don't know why I'm suddenly turning into just like an art therapist.
unprompted therapy session.
I think it is very easy to sort of look back in your art and feel like you're not getting any better, but it's just a case of persistence, unfortunately. But one of my favorite things to do is just looking back at just my really old work. You can't change your mind halfway through. I'm giving this top-notch artist advice, which is probably not actually that top-notch, but
Yeah, it's good.
it's certainly advice. I think everybody is like capable of, you know, being good at anything. I think to some people it might come more naturally than others, just in the retrospect, in the, the thought that I might spend a lot more time drawing because it's something that I enjoy. But I think like after you get to once you get past the hurdle that you feel like your art isn't good enough to actually do at all, it gets a bit easier, but it's getting to that hurdle. I'm
Yeah,
probably not.
it's getting to the point where you're like happy enough with what you're doing that you want to keep drawing, but like getting to that point was tricky. Like there was a long period of time where the only way I drew was like doodles of like the most inhuman things I could draw, like these big blocky creatures and stuff like that. Probably still find those doodles somewhere, but it's like they were so simple,
Yeah.
and that
I deliberately keep a hold of like all my old art and like art accounts and whatnot. I try and not delete my stuff because it's really nice to look back on.
I know I've started doing that as well. Like, but I'm talking about these like doodles. It was stuff like it was genuinely just like scrap paper that I was doodling on, which is why I have no idea where it is currently.
I mean, that
No,
is just like a really good way to improve, though. Just doodles. I hide the reference image for like a second and I completely forget what color its cheeks are. Oh. Hmm.
yeah, that's fair. Not having as much time as you want to draw is understandable. I'm kind of in the same boat quite a lot.
I think I'm quite lucky in that because I'm in a course where basically I have to draw. But that, but I went through. I think like towards the end of my last year. Actually, not so much last year because I was at home a lot, but before that, I barely drew anything for like myself,
Mm.
which I think is kind of why last year I tried to really go all out with doing like fan art for my campaigns and whatnot.
I know it's a good way to get into it. It's like that's kind of how I've been getting myself into doing my drawing more is doing drawings of my NPCs and monsters and locations within my
Yeah.
settings. It's like I find something that I want to take the time to like properly visualize out for myself, and I just do it.
So it probably feels a bit more like worthwhile if you know it's actually for a specific purpose.
Yeah,
Okay, I've started drawing in the white lines, so I should probably finish this before I go overboard.
we can spruce them up a bit after stream to kind of share them out the world, but I'll wait to go over to myself just now then.
Yep, I'll just bring your screen over.
Okay.